Let's check it, everybody. It is time for House Divided on Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. That man pointing at me in a different room, Chad Hastings. Do us a solid like, comment, subscribe, bing, bang, bong, all of those things. And if you want to jump into the Specs chat, leave some commentary while we do the show live. Send us super chats. We love money. We spend it. I promise. A lot of things to get into today. Big recruiting day for the Texas Longhorns. I think it's fair to say they're expected to pick up one of the nation's very best defensive backs. We'll get into that in a second. Steve Sarkeesian met with the media at 11 o'clock, well, a little bit after 11 o'clock. So in the last hour, talked to reporters. I mean, there's nothing that we could almost say about what happened on the Thursday before the UTSA game that's going to get people. I mean, he could literally come out and say, let me tell you the thing about this UTSA team is that they suck. Like, he can just go out there and wild. And I think we're still going to treat this game as the UTSA game. I officially put in a prediction on the Prize Pick show today, Chad, 85-0.
Nice.
Let me just put it to you like this. I think they're covering the 35.
Covering 35. Fair enough. I got him covering 35 as well. I'm a little more conservative than you. I'm going with the 05 score, 51-10, just like when they came out of Columbus. I'm going 51-10.
Well, the thing is, I'm convinced that Sarkeesian is going to remember that people in 2022 and especially in 2021 were saying things like, this is the guy that should be the Texas head coach instead of Steve Sarkeesian, or maybe this is the guy that will eventually one day replace Steve Sarkeesian. I think he's going to want to put the throttle down one time against this guy so that the next time anybody dares to associate their names together, it'll be, did you see the time that Sark beat the brains off of Jeff Traylor so bad that like he quit in the middle of the game? Like, I am expecting clearly not 85. Don't take that too literally. Mm-hmm. But I think it didn't happen this year. I think this year they might put a marker down. I thought it was interesting that he basically said, Quinn Ewers is a Heisman candidate. I had no idea. Okay.
He didn't say that.
Sark's like, I don't even know that he's at the top of the odds. Really? No one's told you that?
He doesn't know. He has no idea. He has no idea. By the way, South End Zone Queen, how dare you? Man, if we have this much clickbait the week following a Michigan win, what are y'all going to talk about after UTSA and ULM? South End Zone Queen, look at it this way. Just because it's clickbait doesn't mean you ain't going to eat. You're going to eat. You're going to click. You're going to get in. You're going to eat. You know what the catfish says? You know what the catfish says that hits on good bait? Says, Dan, that was good bait. That was some good ass bait.
What's the clickbait?
Again, it's all clickbait.
Look, when we do clickbait, we admit it. We do not run from the clickbait.
Right.
Because hold on, Chad, let me do this. It's a pet peeve of mine. Literally, that's what headlines are for. They're clickbait. Every single thing on the internet is clickbait. When I tweet and I put a video in it, I want people to click on it. When I put links out on Orange Bloods promoting my articles, I'll say things like, it's the best thing ever because it's clickbait. It's all clickbait. Every link on the internet is designed to be clicked. When I write a story, I want you to read it. I want you to click on it. Now, look, Chad and I will be the first to confess that there are times, I'll tell you, during the summer, there were times like we did a Ryan Wingo video. It wasn't much of an update. It was a baby update. Why did we call it Ryan Wingo update? Because we wanted you to click on it and watch the video.
And it was an update.
It was an update.
We don't lie to you.
When
South
you
End
say,
Zone Queen, we don't lie to you. We don't lie to you.
Sometimes when you say there's no update, that's the update. And believe me, I'm just saying that there are days when Chad and I have engaged in the clickbait on purpose. We did an Arch Manning thumbnail yesterday. I would contend it's a lot more clickbaitish than what we're doing today, which is when we're done talking about Steve Sarkeesian's little press gathering, let me make a Silas Bolden note. We will explain and educate and discuss. And I don't think the thumbnail and the title today are clickbait at all. I came up with it because I think it's actually legitimate. Like the thing we're about to talk about is really important. This cat, Zelus Hicks, is really good. Matter of fact, do you know how good I think he is? I think he's better than Derek Williams. I think he's better than Xavier Filsaime. I think he's better than Jelani McDonald. I think he will be, if in the 2 o'clock hour he does announce for Texas, I think it's the best safety that Texas will have signed since Steve Sarkeesian showed up, period. That's how good I think he is. But there are other elements to his recruitment that have some weird little tentacles to them that I think make our headline absolutely true and the thumbnail absolutely true and actually medium level clickbait. I think it's a 5 on a 1 to 10. 5 is normal. 10 is Arch chaos. And it's just a picture of Arch. And then you end up like, yeah, Arch Manning had a practice today and people thought it was good. And blah, blah, blah. There you go. I'm just saying there are levels to this. Today's medium.
South End Zone Queen, thanks for derailing the show at the beginning. And
oh, damn.
And now you're accusing. See, there's just bait. There's just bait all over the place.
Wait, is South End Zone Queen my Kamala?
I don't know. I don't know what that exact analogy means. All I know is catch
sisters that you can post on social media to confirm it. I'm just kidding.
Hey, South End Zone Queen and all of our great fans, whatever the bait is, it might be working a little bit because thanks to y'all, we've now hit that 21,000 subscriber mark on the YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Keep on subscribing. We can't get to 8 billion until we get to 22,000.
Because that McDonald's sign back in the day, when they wrote 21,000 served, nobody cared.
Nah, it was weird.
You got to get to 1 million before people are like, oh, they've served some sons of bitches.
Only Cleo McDowell cared that they had the 21,000.
Yes.
Right, exactly. All right.
Go from McDowell's to, I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
McDonald's and get sued.
There you go. If you want to send us a super chat, it will go right to the top of the list.
We just had one come in. Prove it to him.
Google Scholar, $4.99. We have 5 former quarterbacks on other rosters right now. That has to be some sort of record. Also, Colin Page scores this week.
Damn.
Lay it.
I like that kind of shot, Colin.
How about that?
Wow. Okay.
Google Scholar, 5 former quarterbacks on other rosters right now. There's no real question here, but Catch, do you want to see if we can name them?
Oh, I think I can name them.
Okay, hit it.
Now, he's saying they're on rosters.
On rosters.
Let's talk about the ones that are playing.
Okay.
So Hudson Card, obviously, is like, he and Malik Murphy, I think, are the two that everybody on a weekly basis keeps up with.
Right. Casey Thompson's on a roster.
He's on the roster. I think Cameron Rising is a guy that Texas fans will forever also talk about. Did you see he's in the news again today? He suffered a hand injury, and apparently the cut is infected, and it's like in sepsis mode or something like that. South End Zone Queen. What's that mean?
Did you see the moment when he got hurt? Did you see what happened?
No.
Dude threw him into the coolers. They were like, he was tackling him on the sideline, threw him into a couple Gatorade coolers. Here's what we know, Catch. I'm not a doctor, but I can confirm this diagnosis. Cam Rising has a bone condition where his body is just allergic to football. Like the bones in his body are allergic to the game, and Cameron Rising's going to play like 10 years and get as much as he can out of it, but he's just allergic to football.
Can I tell you what I think needs to happen with Cameron Rising?
Sure.
I think the FBI needs to raid his house or his apartment or a dorm room or whatever he's doing at age 37 at Utah.
37.
Okay.
It feels like it.
They need to go into his living quarters and make sure that he doesn't have photos of bomb scenes all over the place, because this dude is the real life Mr. Glass from Unbreakable. They are so alike. I wonder, has he ever fallen down into a subway tunnel? And B, is he a terrorist?
Is he a terrorist?
Because it's so much like Mr. Glass from Unbreakable.
By the way, do I need to see that movie? Is it any good?
Oh, it's a good movie. Yes.
That's a Samuel L. and Bruce Willis. I get both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And Bruce Willis plays a former college football star who's a security guard.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson collects comic books.
Yeah. And Texas quarterback number 5, is Google Scholar playing a technicality with Jaquindon Jackson?
That's what I was getting to, yeah.
Is that what he's doing?
It has to be.
It has to be? Okay.
Because I can't think of any others. I mean, we thought Charles Strong for a while.
Charles
Wright.
Charles Wright.
We thought Charles Wright was going to be playing for, I think, Appalachian State. He transferred there.
Yes, that's true.
But he's not on the active roster. I don't know where he is. Gotcha. I can't find him.
I do remember a Texas fan or two reminding me when he transferred to that.
So technically 6.
There you go.
If Charles Wright is out there playing somewhere on a roster, he was supposed to be, but I can't find him.
Thanks to over 400 folks who've already jumped in the Specs chat. Speaking of Specs, we got some new imagery for you, and it's a sale, kids. If you love whiskey, they got a whiskey sale that runs into October. Pay attention.
Specs for our whiskey sale and enjoy the lowest prices on Texas' largest selection of whiskey. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Specs, cheers to savings.
And as Bo Edge said on The Outsiders last night, God love you if you're drinking that last pour. Man, oh man, that last pour was healthy. That was a healthy amount of whiskey for the kids. There you go.
I just want to say for the record,
yes,
miss you, Lisa.
Oh, she'll be back. Don't worry.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not the same.
I miss Lisa. I miss the rabbit.
There's sometimes you grow accustomed to things, and I'm one of those guys. Change. It's where I'm the oldest.
Right.
I don't like change. So
you want to see her real quick?
Don't make it creepy. I'm just saying.
I can give you.
Specs same-day delivery can save the day.
We can do that for you.
Thank you. I now feel officially creepy. But maybe I had that coming. It's fair.
I aim to serve. All right,
Mac Brown. Okay.
All right, catch. Let's get it on the rails. Let's get it on track, and let's pay off that clickbait. Let's talk about a name people need to know, and a decision that is coming.
Okay.
And a decision that's coming later, unless there's more from Sark.
I mean, the only other thing that I thought was interesting for Sark, and I'll say this quickly, he was asked about Silas Bolden.
Mm-hmm.
And are you kind of surprised he's not got the ball more? And Sark's leaning into some Phil Jackson Zen type stuff where he's just like, hey, sometimes the ball finds you and sometimes it doesn't. And it's an awesome philosophical kind of insight into life. But I wonder if that worked for Jonte Cook. Hey, the ball finds you or the ball doesn't find you. I think you can't, the universe is telling us what the universe is telling us. I subscribe to that. Sark, I'm with you. I heard that and thought, I don't think Jonte Cook wants to hear that.
Yeah. I gave them both a book to read. It's about chickens in the barnyard.
Well, how about the ball find me a half dozen times this weekend? Now, how about it do that for once?
Yeah,
can you give
talk?
a message to the ball?
I was going to say, then if you're the ball whisperer, can you please tell the ball to come find me? I'll be wearing number 1 or I'll be wearing number 11, depending on the circumstance.
All right. So Zelus Hicks, let's do it. Let's have that conversation. I love this dude. He probably most reminds me of Aaron Williams to just about any guy that really I've noticed Texas recruiting over, the last since Aaron Williams left. I don't know that there are very many guys. Maybe I would have made a little Aaron Williams-ish comparison with Caden Stearns, but I wouldn't even say that I think this kid's more Aaron Williams than anybody I can remember seeing. And that should say a lot. I love Aaron Williams. I had him ranked as the number 1 prospect in the 2008 recruiting class. So I think that's right. 7, 8, one of those 2 years. So, when if anything's clickbait, it might be my love for this kid. I think he is an incredible football player. I think the Longhorns I put in a future cast for him yesterday. So did Sam Spiegelman of Rivals.com. There's a real growing suspense or sense that he's going to commit to Texas later today. Now that's just our read on things. We'll see. And I think he's a big time guy. And what's really interesting about this, Chad, we reported this at the Rivals 5-star camp back in June when we were in Jacksonville. On one of the very first days of the camp, we did an interview with Zelus, and he reiterated very strongly how interested in Texas he was. But he made a point that day of saying, I might reclassify, and I might actually be in the 2025 recruiting class instead of the 2026. So this may be a guy. You asked me earlier in the week, is there a pathway for Texas to get to number 1? And I was very dismissive of it at first because I was like, well, if you get this guy and this guy, I don't think you've got enough 5 stars to quite get there. That you'd make a run at Ohio State, but I don't know that if you just get a pair of 5 stars, if that's enough. But then I started to think, well, look, before it's all said and done, Lance Jackson could be a 5-star. I don't know that it's likely. But there are a couple of guys in this recruiting class that are on the cusp of that type of ranking that if that happened, okay, you could do that. And then, you get Javion Hilson, and then you pick up somebody's All-American linebacker, whether it's woo or not. I'm glad you enjoy that.
Oh, my God.
But the thing is, if this kid reclassifies to 2025, I think he is a 5-star talent. He's ranked number 30 in America right now in Rivals, which year in and year out, that typically makes you a 5-star. He's number 19 overall nationally in the ESPN rankings for 2026. He's number 24 nationally in the On3 rankings. So that's 3 different national services that would have a 5-star ranking on him. Interestingly enough, 24/7 does not. They've got him at number 79 nationally, but the 24/7 composite would be 5-star, number 25 nationally, and the number 5 guy from the state of Georgia in the 2026 class. If you reclassify him, it doesn't change a lot. His kind of positioning in the rankings is kind of his positioning in the rankings, which means he's got a chance to be a 5-star prospect. I know he was awesome at the Rivals 5-day camp, again, in Jacksonville, where me and Sukamel and Cody Carpentier were all at. I think he might be. The thing is that Rivals height and weight on him is what they got from the 5-star camp. That is... So there's a part of me that is slightly dismissive of that. because I always think that if a kid's listed at 6'3", he's always a little shorter. I tell you what, just for giggles, Ben, because I had that same thought conversation in my head earlier today.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Adam Gorney right now if the 6'3", 180 in the database is the height and weight from the Rivals 5-star. So give me 5 seconds.
Yeah. All right. You asked that, and Cotton throws in another interesting question of what's the 26, what's the age? Might have misheard, but someone said he was already 18 years old. Not sure on that one, Cotton, but we will double check, I guess, into that one. We're talking about a guy that may reclassify, as Ketch is talking about, going from the 26 class.
And I think there's a good chance that could happen. I mean, I really do. It's been talked about for months. It continues to be a thing that he's talking about. He's already 4 games into his junior season. I think it's a seed that's planted, and I think it's what really makes, I think, today's announcement really unique. Because if he wasn't talking about reclassifying to the 2025 class, and I didn't think it was seriously a real possibility, then he'd be a 2026 commitment from Georgia with 17 months to go until he puts pen to paper and becomes an official signee somewhere. That's a long time. My reaction, if he's just a 2026 guy, is awesome pickup. Now you have to survive recruiting, and it's really hard. These early commitments, we've all covered DeCorey and Moore. We've all covered a number of these guys that it's hard to hold on to those early commitments. There was a reference to Ruben Owens earlier in the week here on the show. It's like, again, these early commitments are hard to hold, but if he reclassifies, which I think he's going to, then you're talking about a guy that would be signing in a couple of months. He absolutely changes the 2025 class in that he would arguably be, he would be, hold on. This is breaking news.
Breaking news.
Morning.
Here we go.
Literally seconds ago, Adam Gorney says he measured 6'1 3/4" and 188 pounds at the Rivals. That was in June at the Rivals 5-star camp. He's updating the profile right now so that it will say 6'2".
So 6'1 3/4". So we're going 6'2".
And that's
so the guy that
3/4 barefoot.
Okay. So what we just learned is the person that measured him in Georgia was Bob Stoops. Is that right? Is that how that works?
I mean, I'm telling you, I asked, is that from June? I got to let me look. And then he says, that's as specific as it gets. 6'3", $188.
Fair enough. You were all business there. That was good. I couldn't even get a smile from you out of the Bob Stoops joke. Well done. All right. How about this? Mike says compare him to Jonah Williams. I'm assuming Jonah, not like Jonah in the
Jonah's bigger. He's just bigger. I mean, Jonah's 200 plus pounds. This kid's 188. Jonah is legitimately 6'3". And Jonah, from a football play, I guess I'm much closer to Jonah Williams being a 6-star because I think this kid is a 5-star, but I don't think he's a better prospect than Jonah Williams. I wouldn't quite go that far. But I do think if we're talking about, I didn't have Derek Williams rated as a 5-star. I think maybe ESPN did. I think Rivals just had him as a super blue chip, national top 60 kind of a guy. Phil Sammy was a 5-star last year, but he's kind of on the back end of 5 stars. You think about a guy like Jelani McDonald. I think Rivals did have him as a 5-star, but not everybody did. But kind of a consensus national top 50 guy. To me, this guy's better than all of that. Better than high 4-star. Better than I think he is a 5-star. But I don't think he's as good as Jonah Williams, which obviously speaks more to Jonah Williams than it does to this guy. It just means that for me, Jonah Williams is a level of freakism that we just don't see him. We don't see guys like that every year. There's not a Jonah Williams in every single class, a guy that's a multi-sport star, a guy that's so good at another sport that you'd think, well, maybe does he even play football? But the guy loves football. I mean, he's just an incredibly unique prospect and athlete. And ultimately he is just bigger and maybe even more dynamic. He's a bigger athlete and a more dynamic athlete, which is why if we're, really splitting hairs when talking about two guys that I would say are national top 25 type prospects, it just, that's how a guy gets in the top 5 or the top 10, as opposed to maybe just like somewhere in the top 20, top 25.
Mike, appreciate that chat. If you want to throw in a super chat, we will certainly take it. Let me just double check here. I haven't seen a super chat, although we do have a little kind of an instructional chat here. Here we go. This is for Binks. Binks, this is not how this works. Let's pause 5 seconds for Lou Holtz explaining A&M's jump to the new Pac-12. That's how super chats work. Lou don't dance for free. Lou dances for $20 and up in a super chat, just to let you know. It is house divided on a Thursday as we get ready for Texas.
He's like, dance, monkey, dance.
And UTSA. Going to take an Andy Jackson to get that particular dance. And it's going to take a better TV setup to get your house to where it needs to be. Maybe AV Consultations can help you.
With audiovisual consultations, scientific data proves it. Size does matter. The bigger and wider your television is, the better. Football season is here, and the time is now to get your entire audio-video experience tuned up and ready. New flat screens, projection video, Dolby True HD surround, all the goodies at great prices and followed up with great service. So call us at 255-8678. That's 255-8678, or on the web at avconsultations.com.
All right. Wow. I hope this is not real. Jose, Chad, did you see the interview with Overshone on why he's not wearing number 0? Apparently, Jerry doesn't want to take it away from Rowdy the mascot. Now, come on. That can't be real. Fake story.
That's real.
Fake AI-generated story. That is not true. Is it, Catch?
It's true.
Hey, Jer, did you see him close in on Deshaun Watson? Would you consider giving him a 0? Rowdy is part of the tours. Rowdy is part of showing everybody the artwork. I cannot take that number from Rowdy. Please let that be a fake story. Oh my God.
It's a true story.
That's
but
so
I
sad.
think that DeMarvion is hoping that enough of a fuss can be made about how ridiculous it is on social media that Jerry might change his mind.
You realize there'll be a ceremony where Rowdy presents the number to Overshone. So let me make sure I'm clear, Catch. Jerry forced CeeDee Lamb to wear 88 when he didn't want to, and now he's not allowing Overshone to have 0 when he does want to? What
Can I also make a confession?
Sure.
I don't like Rowdy. Never have, never will. I'm anti-Rowdy. Where did that Rowdy even come from? When did that start being a thing? Because I feel like the unofficial mascot for the Cowboys was Crazy Ray. And then out of nowhere, it turned into Rowdy. I didn't ask for that.
Yeah. Catch, at the beginning of the show today, if you had offered me $100 to tell you the name of the Cowboys mascot dude in a uniform, I don't know if I'd have come up with the word. I hope I would have. But I would have just named, I would have said, like, I don't know, Dust Bowl or Tumbleweed or whatever. Like, I don't know if I'd have got
every time I see that dude under the goalpost after a field goal, I think about that old Texas Houston game where Wally Pryor yells out, "Get that idiot off the goalpost." Like, that's how I go. I go 90-year-old man on Rowdy every time I see Rowdy.
Yeah, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. And by the way, text guy, this is not a very high bar. Rowdy's paid more than the cheerleaders. Everybody's paid more than those cheerleaders.
I mean, that
doesn't mean a thing. They get paid like, well, we get in like a super chat every once in a while. That's what they get. They get a super chat a week. That's what they get. Good grief. All right. So somebody was asking about you were doing comps on Zelus Hicks, and we talked about Jonah Williams, and there was a question I had for you. Oh, I know what it was. So the resetting of the height, it's going to be right at 6'2". Whatever the quibble is there over a little bit. Like
I think the taller DBs seem to get the less likely they are. It's like 6'3", weirdly, is like, ooh, you're almost at a point where you're wondering, is he too tall? Okay, I actually like the fact that
you like that it's a little shorter.
It's perfect, Chad.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Okay. That's perfect. There you go. Use the word perfect. That's more clickbaity than not perfect. So so if he reclassifies, you're saying that so he'll make a decision today. It's about 2 o'clock, right after the show's done, right? 2:30, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So he'll make the commitment today as part of the 26 class. Walk us through, how does the reclassification thing work? Does he have to do it by a certain time, or is it just something that will occur by signing day?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, he has to graduate high school early. I mean, that first and foremost,
okay,
he would need to graduate high school by the end of his first semester in his junior year.
So by the end of this fall semester, he's got to have enough to graduate?
Correct.
Okay.
So, I know that they've inspected the pathway to that. It sounds like it's something, clearly he's a smart kid. I don't think in the summer between my sophomore and junior year, if I had said, I wonder if I can graduate in 6 months, I'm pretty sure the answer would have absolutely been no. So, he's probably got AP credits. He's probably built up enough credits that if he really goes for it, he can. That it continues to be talked about makes me think it's going to happen, because if he was going to be able to do it this year in his schedule, he would already have to have all the pieces in place. So if that's the decision he wants to make, then he could do it. It'll be a little late in November for him to be like, hey, I should have took Spanish 2B starting 3 months ago. What do we do? Can't fix that. So I think he's already been planning to academically have it in place. You have to be approved by the school. So he will have to have done all of the academic requirements that one would need to do to get it as a student athlete at Texas. They don't make it really hard. He can read and write, take a few tests. There you go. It's a little harder to stay in school, but the getting into school part is easy. It is, how do you stay in Texas sometimes? Trust me. I can attest to that. First semester at Texas, I was on academic probation very quickly. I can give lessons to students going to Texas about classes not to take freshman year. No history, none. If you're like, oh, classical civilizations, that sounds like a dope class. That sounds like that would be interesting. Later, if at all.
Oh my God. By the way, Catch, we got some interesting info from one of the chatters. Apparently, super chats are really up to you. Binks says, Catch is in a good mood, so no cheer up supers, and Catch is here, so you can do it, Chad. Supers. So Catch, what I need you to do is get really pissed off and then leave the show. That's what I need. Just get really pissed and then leave, and then super chats are going to roll in. That's what
I don't know how to feel about that at all.
Wow. Sounds like he's mad. Now he's gone. Bring the super chats. Let's go. Come. No. Okay. Never mind. That's funny.
Nice try though. Like you went the distance.
Yes. We tried to make that work. In terms of, okay, so let me put a combo together for you, Catch. I was giving Jason Sukamel the quiz down earlier in the week of would that get you to a number one class? You have been doubting that Texas can get to a number one class and pass Ohio State. So let me put the formula together for you. Zelus Hicks picks Texas and reclassifies to 25, all right? There's your step one. Javion Hilson eventually commits to Texas. And Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng, best outside linebacker in the country, commits to Texas. Does that make it number one?
I mean, it'd be close.
Okay.
I think the key might be what happens with Lance Jackson. Because if you could just get him bumped up 20 spots in the rankings versus where he is right now,
right?
His value as a 5-star, I think the pathway could be as simple as land Hicks today and reclassify.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Jackson gets his 5th star.
Okay.
And then one of those two things that you said between either Javion Hilson and or the linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Ooh, Boateng.
If you were to get either of those two guys, then I think it's like a coin flip.
Okay.
It would be that close at that point. A lot of it might come down to, can Ohio State pick up another guy or two? I mean, they're not frozen in time, even if they've got, I think they're at 25. I need to go look and see what their commitment list looks like, but it's pretty stacked, but they might not be done either. So it's not impossible. It's not, especially what if Texas were to flip a Riley Pettyjohn?
Oh, you got there. Dadgummit.
I mean, that is the biggest, what goes up must cause something to go down kind of a deal.
Okay, work the math backwards for me then. Because I was about to put Pettyjohn on top of what I just said. Strip it all back. Start with Pettyjohn. Now, what do you need to add to it to make him the number one class?
I think almost still the same thing, just to be sure.
You still need 2 or 3 other elements?
Zealous. Yeah. Because I don't think Ohio State's going to sit pat and be like, I guess we're just done. No, they're going to try to do what Texas is doing, which is upgrading. And, you may lose a guy here and there because we've had the conversation this week. If you were to go get DeCorian Moore, might it have a trickle-down impact to the receivers below that? It could. If you go get, any of the guys that we're talking about, it could have it. I'll tell you another guy. Bo Barnes is a real interesting cat because he's not a super blue chip guy right now, really in anybody's rankings. The book on him is that he looks and runs and is an athlete like a 5-star, but he looks like a guy that hasn't played a lot of football. And he looks, let me put it like this. I think he came into this season and a lot of people thought 3-star player, 5-star body. So what do you do with that? Right? Well, you make it like a national top 150 guy. And if he doesn't make it, you go, well, he never was great at football. If he ends up being a 1st-round draft pick, you're like, well, he did have all of those physical attributes that would make you love him. He's been sensational through the first few games of this season. So sensational that I think a reevaluation of what the hell he is might need to take place. And it's not impossible to come to a conclusion that, because I think someone's going to rank him as a 5-star. I know Rivals will get out and officially have people in place. The Sam Spiegelmans of the world will go see that kid play before the season is over with. But I think like On3 and 24/7 have already had people there in person. You're going to take a look at his film. There's the All-Star games. Like there's a pathway where I think that guy could end up being a 5-star. And I tell you what's really unique about him is that in the history of the state, if you take all the 4-star and 5-star linebackers that have ever gone on to be drafted NFL players, there's only 2 out of, 50 that weighed more than 220 pounds and made it to the NFL. Sergio Kendall and Baron Browning, both of whom were 5 stars. So it's, like I don't want to get too into the weeds on the weight thing. The data is the data, though. The data says these things haven't really happened. Barnes is bigger than the weight mark. He's bigger than 220. But it was like, well, he's not a 5-star player. So he was going to be a weird, can this guy break the anomaly? Or if he doesn't make it, will we just go, well, these big guys, unless they're freaks, but he is a freak. So it's like, well, Sergio Kendall was a freak. Baron Browning was a freak. They were able to make it happen. This kid's got 5-star physical attributes. He's a sub 11.0 100 meters guy. Like he has got some freaky stuff going on. You could make a case that there are 2 commitments in the Texas commitment list that could make really big jumps before it's all said and done. Both Jackson and Barnes. If that were to happen, then I think the battle between Texas and Ohio State is real at that point, because I do think there's a very good chance, it's probably more likely than not, that Hicks will reclassify. I mean, the kid's been talking about it for so long. It makes me think it's going to happen, but it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to announce this early, because then everybody would go through your junior season talking about how you've only got a few games left, and it all becomes a little bit of a countdown that you don't really want. What you'd want to do if you were him, to put some thought into, well, why would he do it like this? You want to be able to play your junior season, and you want to be able to do it where like it's normal and people are just treating you like you're a junior in high school, and you get to kind of live a normal life. Everything about your season changes the moment you say, I'm declaring that this is my last year. You're the story, and that's the story in every game you play. So this is a way to keep it off the radar. There's an acknowledgement of like, hey, this thing could happen. Is it going to happen? Well, if I answer that, like my life changes. So I think he's waving flags without causing distress to his life and making an announcement like that too early. And just, I think that guy wants to go through a normal season. In fact, if you go to his huddle page, you can watch the first 4 games of this season. He's already got the highlight package up there. He gets to be a bit of a normal junior, as normal as a normal junior who wants to graduate from high school a semester early, so that he can. I mean, that's crazy. It's one thing for a guy to be a senior and to leave his senior year early. It's another to leave essentially 3 semesters off the board. I'm checking on the age thing. He was born. Oh, Chad.
Yes.
The significance of today.
Mm-hmm.
It's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Today.
He's 18 today.
Today.
Happy birthday, Zelus.
He was born, this will make you feel old,
Yep.
September 12th, 2006.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
That one.
That's rough.
That one didn't hit me as hard as hearing that Reggie McNeil had a kid being recruited. It was like, no, that can't be true.
No. That
Because Vince has a son who's going to be a prospect.
Yeah.
But we haven't gone through that yet.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But I mean, this kid's 18, born in 2006. Vince was in his early 20s at that age. I mean, we're at a point where all these guys, Cedric Griffin's got a kid who's a recruited prospect right now. Like,
yeah. So
all
2
the
and
guys
out.
are having babies, and we're going to start seeing their kids. It's just going to make me feel old. That has nothing to do with Zelus Hicks, other than he's 18 years old today.
And it might be the answer to the question of why today? Why is today the day he's going to commit? Maybe it's because it's his birthday. By the way, Catch, the plan worked earlier. Texas Boy did send us a $9.99 super chat, but it was only $9.99 because you came back on the screen too fast. So maybe next time we can slow burn that one. We appreciate it.
Can I ask you a question?
Texas
And this
Boy.
is an off the rails pre 1 o'clock in the afternoon question.
Sure.
Are you familiar with what happened with Shannon Sharpe yesterday?
I am not. So this super chat didn't make a ton of sense to me. I was going to tell Google Scholar. It says $1.99. How much to Lou to reenact Shannon Sharpe's audio? Google Scholar, my initial gut reaction would be at least $50 and time to prepare because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So yesterday, Shannon Sharpe had an Instagram live video pop up where he was having sex in the background.
What?
And it's like 5 minutes of you can hear the audio from him having sex. And at one point,
oh no.
At one point, he's
like,
he's like grunting, like,
oh, come on. Really?
Compared him to one of the characters from Black Panther, you know, the one.
All right, you know what? Google Scholar, I'm going to change my mind. That's got to be at least 100, 200.
So look.
Come on. Let's go.
Trust me, you'll listen. There's a lot going on, but you don't see anything. It's just the audio.
Yeah.
So last night, Shannon Sharpe did his Club Shay Shay video with Chad Ochocinco, where he had to confirm that he wasn't hacked, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And he was embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
And it was really funny, but really, you know, like, I can't believe this is real life kind of a thing. What I was going to ask you is, so Chad Ochocinco got on Shannon for his stamina, because it's not more than like a minute and a half into the video where you start to hear Shannon Sharpe. He's grunting.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't sound like a man that's run a lap on a track anytime lately. So Chad's like, come on, man, your stamina. Like, we got to talk about that. And Shannon's like, oh, no, my stamina is good. But what he claims is it was like a marathon session of lovemaking
that they just caught the end of.
But how could that be possible? He says he threw his phone onto the bed. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Maybe he's got a dog or a cat that stepped on the phone. Maybe he's got a cat that knows how to open the phone. I don't know.
I'm going with phone gets thrown, button gets hit in the process of phone getting, but it's not like there's a countdown on Instagram. He didn't schedule it. He didn't accidentally schedule it. And he also claims that he's never gone live on Instagram live before, so he doesn't even know how to do it. So I don't think his cat could have done it. That man, in my opinion, I think it was a shorter session that he wants to cop up to. At which point, you know, it's just like, hey man, it's okay. You're almost 60. Nobody's asking you to set records, right? I just you're 60. Maybe it shouldn't be an hour at that point.
Yeah. Frankly, I haven't understood the discussion since you started that part of the discussion. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so my question to you about the whole thing was going to be, did you catch this intellectual leap of faith that has to be made where if we're catching the end of a session, it's like the miraculous catch. There was a miraculous pushing of the button that God was involved in, or the man just had like 5 minutes of sex.
It's kind of all of those things, but there's an umbrella over it. Men are just dumb.
Well, there's that.
Men are just dumb. Just
who cares? He got phone calls, and people were calling him up. Like, so he's got multiple phones. There's the phone that was recording his session of sex.
So
there are his other phones.
He's got a burner sex phone.
So he's
first off, let's get to the most. What's the most important question here for me on the morality side? Is Shannon Sharpe married?
No, I've not heard that he cheated on anybody.
Perfect. As long as he's not cheating on somebody.
He says this woman's name in the video.
Okay.
He calls her Michelle. At which point, every Michelle that you can think of, like at one point in the video last night, he had to confirm that it was not Michelle Obama. They were acting like fools, Chad.
Right. That is fools. Yeah, that is fools. That is fools. That's funny.
So anyway, you might look. I told you what he was trending on Twitter.
So this came out last night.
Trending on Twitter, and that's how I found out.
This came out last night or today or what?
It came out yesterday in the afternoon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did not catch that.
Look, you don't see anything. So the voyeuristic part is there's some sounds being made that keep you glued to that keep you from hitting stop.
How long a video are we talking about ultimately?
Well, it starts out, it felt like when I watched it yesterday on the one that I watched, it's like a minute and a half. Okay. And then there was like a break. So maybe the video is longer and then it gets snipped down, no pun intended. I don't know. But then there's like a second part of the video that makes it like 5 minutes in total.
Did you listen to all 5 minutes?
I did.
Are you proud of yourself?
I mean, it's not a matter of was I entertained?
Were you entertained? Okay. Fair enough.
I was easily entertained.
You listened to a Pro Football Hall of Famer have relations without knowing that he was being recorded, and you were thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Look, if you grunt like a wild animal in the middle of a intercourse, right? If you grunt, if you talk, so like both sides of the equation has to love or talk. If you do that and you grunt, man, that could have gone on for 30 minutes. I had to listen to the whole video.
Hang on. Is this true?
I don't even remember that. I remember other things that she said.
Thank you. And to this one, he doesn't work for ESPN, right? It's Fox.
No, he's ESPN.
Shannon is?
Yeah.
Oh, he was on Fox with
Bayless, and then he went to ESPN.
Then, okay, right. Okay, I'm sorry. It's moved now. Gotcha. All right. Real quick, Rudy did ask us, did Zelus commit? Isn't he going to announce at 2:00? Yes, Rudy. Yes, later on in the afternoon as we're recording here, later part of the 12 o'clock hour. He's scheduled to go like 2:15 Central Time, something like that, this afternoon. And Gerard throws in, fun fact, Ag's #1 recruiting class has not won a road game. Gerard, I don't have time to verify that. I'm going to assume you have verified that. That is a wild stat if it is true.
That can't be true because that would just basically mean that A&M hasn't won a road game. That was that was 22 class, right?
That was the 22 class.
What's that?
If it's the 22 class, then that would just be the 23 season?
And no, it'd be 22 and 23.
The 22 and 20. Okay.
I need to look that up.
That's true. I don't know. But yeah, I have not taken the time to look that up, but we can catch. Would you like to look that
up? They haven't won any road games. I mean, that would have to be true, right? Because Walter Nolan transferred and he has 1 year left to go.
There you go.
They haven't won a road game in 2 years.
You want to double check it? I'll pay a bill.
I mean, I just did.
Oh, you already checked it.
In my brain, Walter Nolan is in that #1 class. He's a true junior. He just transferred. He's got 1 year left, and then he can go pro. So he's played 2 years.
And you just checked the 2 years, and they didn't win a road game.
Well, no, I didn't do that. I was hoping you would know whether or not they won a road game in the last 2 years. I will check that while you pay a bill.
Yes, you double check that for us. We did talk about Jimbo and A&M, and I remember there being a road losing streak at some point. I think that might be a thing. I'll tell you something else.
Maybe LSU.
Here's something else that's a thing while Ketch is looking that up. Hayes City Store is a thing. Ketch told you the other day about having the chicken fried steak at Hayes, and then he's kind of been chasing it. Others will remind it, man, that's not as good. I'll give you another food, the pork chop. I've told you about the pork chops out at Hayes City Store. I have only had one pork chop that's competitive since I had the Hayes City Store pork chop, and it was at a badass steakhouse in Dallas at SEC Media Days. The group went. Ironically, we were there with Travis and Tamara from Hayes City Store, and they cooked that damn thing for 2 straight days. By the way, that place is called Haywire. It's unbelievable, that pork chop. But it reminded me, I'm like, man, this is great. This is in the category with Hayes City Store. Grilled pork chop, blackened pork chop, and chicken fried pork chop, all served with the best cream gravy I think I've ever had in my life. Get out to Hayes City Store. Enjoy this great weather we've got right now as it's feeling like fall, football weather. Get on out to Driftwood, have the great drinks that go with it, get yourself an incredible dessert at the end, but maybe you try one of those 3 incredible pork chops very soon out at Hayes City Store. There's your QR code to scan. Tell them we sent you here at Orange Bloods Live. Always makes me hungry thinking about Hayes City Store. Catch, can you verify that the class has not won a road game?
I can verify that they are 0-4. The Aggies 0-4 in each of the last 2 years. So the road record for every member of that 2022 recruiting class that was ranked number 1 overall in the country, those that remain are 0-8.
Yeah, because I remember last year we had that discussion about, I think it was a 10. We talked about 10 road losses in a row. I think that might be where they're sitting right now, 10 or 11 or 12, somewhere in that range. I think it's even more than 8, but obviously it encompasses that
Jimbo,
that particular class. Yeah, and that's, there's multiple reasons, right? Like some could say Appalachian State was the reason. That obviously happened at home, but Catch not being able to get any road wins, that's tough. That's a tough string. Tough string.
When I read this before I saw the amount of money. Hold on, that's not what I meant to.
2 minutes in heaven, better than 2 minutes in hell. Super chat 199. The most I'm giving is 15. She better go. Wow.
So
wow.
Look, when I first read that,
wow,
I thought he was giving you $15 in super chat, and that he wanted the Lou Holtz impersonation.
Right. No,
then I looked and saw, wait a minute, that's $1.99. Oh,
yeah. There you go. There you go. There it is. Google Scholar. We appreciate the addition to the show.
Hey, he's making the declaration pretty early for all of that moving forward, right? I mean, it's up to the women of the world to know to get into the YouTube chat and to pay attention to what Google Scholar says in the super chats.
Yeah. By tomorrow, Catch.
Declaration of sorts.
There you go. Catch, by tomorrow, since the Aggies are in the swamp this week, I'll get you a full rundown on the last time they won on the road, what was going on, the full string of it. We'll hit that tomorrow. But yes, Christopher says it is true. A&M is looking for their first road win. Yeah, in a while. Kind of crazy. All right. So we've hit a lot of good
on that, man. I didn't even realize that, we were even going back to like the beginning of Biden's first term. Like, what in the world?
No, you got to go back a ways. I'm assuming it goes back to the 2020 season, because that was the season where they were in 2020 they were really good. So I'm assuming starting in 21 or 22 is when we already have got
their
22.
Last road win was a good road win.
It's somewhere in 21 was the last one, right?
It's a good one.
Okay, so the last time they won a road game in 2021, it wouldn't have been. They haven't won in Baton Rouge.
They won by 10 at the number 12 ranked team in the country.
They didn't go to Bama, obviously, and do it in 21 because that was at home. Damn, who did they beat in 2021 that was the number 12 team in the country? I don't know. Tell me.
Ole Miss 29-19.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry, Rebel fans. Forgot you were number 12 in the country that day. All right.
Yeah, the Aggies handled their business that day.
There it is. You just saved me some research. Well done.
And then they also, just so that everybody understands, looks like you guys went up to Columbia, Missouri that season and put it on Missouri 35-14.
Okay.
So this is back when we thought you guys might end up doing something.
Yeah, right. Remember those days?
Barely.
Feels like a long time ago.
That was an 8-4 team that dog walked a couple of like decent home teams.
There you go. There it is. They were road deadly. Let's see if they can get any of that back this weekend. 2:30 kick for A&M in Florida in the Swamp. Losers got 2 losses, and their fan base will go crazy. Guaranteed. Especially, I don't even know which is worse. Catch, which fan base will flip harder?
Florida.
On Saturday. It's Florida because
because the A&M fans aren't gonna be like, fire the coaches. Like,
right.
It's game 3. So, I mean, there's only so much flipping out you can do. Florida fans could legitimately lose it.
Yeah. By the way, somebody's double checking you here. One more chance says they lost to Ole Miss in 21.
No, I'm looking at the A&M literally schedule 2021. It was, according to the website, it was November 13th, 2021. I'll even look at the box score.
Yeah, one more. Come on. Jefferson says, Chad, the Aggies will win a
just
natty.
so we're clear, on the official box score.
I hope so, Jefferson.
Now, can I trust 12man.com?
Sure.
It is the official A&M website.
Yeah, you got to be able to trust them, of course.
11/13/2021. That was the date of A&M. Oh, A&M lost that game. 29-19. The box score reads differently than I cannot trust the website.
You did it again, Catch. Thank you so much. Are you happy with yourself
that year?
Are you happy? Is this you've now done it on both sides of,
it's South Carolina.
Both sides of the Egg Bowl. You've done it to me twice now. Are you happy? Is this your new bit? Is this what it is? I'm going to tell Chad the Aggies did something good when the Aggies actually did something bad. That's your new bit, huh?
As it turns out, 44-14 over South Carolina in 2021 is the last time they've won a road game.
See, now I got to be double checking you because you're wrong about that. It's the Missouri game you mentioned earlier. That South Carolina game's a home game. I'm staring at it right now. 2021 at Missouri, 35-14. That's the last road win.
I think this computer's doing some weird things, Chad. I think I might have a virus.
Yeah. You know what? The next time you do this, Catch, if you could do me a favor, whichever hand is not running the mouse, can you just hold it up and do this? Give me a jazz hand so I at least know it's a bit. Please. I need to know when I'm in the middle of a bit here. Hey, Chad. You know the Aggies beat an all-star team of Bama and Georgia players 10 years ago on the road. Not really. No. Thank you so much. What is it? Hang on. Catch pulled an owl.
I don't know that you got to go that far back for a reference.
Oh, my God. That is fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Let's see.
It really is like the Peep and Tom thing from high school. Like, it just keeps happening.
It does. Yeah. No, it keeps going on. Whatever we do, Texas fans would like you to report on anything A&M football to me, and I would rather you not. That's what's going on right now. This is what we mean. See, this is what House Divided has turned into. We talk a bunch of Texas football, and then Catch just clowns the Aggies at my expense. That's where the show is right now.
The thing is, it's not completely true or untrue. It wasn't the last ad break, Tucker. It was like an hour ago, which is the biggest endorsement that I can give Rogue.
Yeah, ironically, you need to anyway. So why don't you go right ahead?
Well, I was partaking earlier, so much so that I let Chad know about 2 minutes before we went on. Hey, I don't know if I just sound a little off at all today. I might have hit the Rogue a little too hard. So FYI, I'm good. But should I incorrectly say that A&M won a road game in 2021 later in the show? Just know, Rogue shot. That happened. It happened. I will not apologize, but it has impacted my performance to a slight degree, which is the biggest reason why you should scan that QR code and go shopping today.
And for the record, for those people that like to point out that I might know a little more about Texas football nowadays than I know about Aggie football, Ketch just brought up a road win that didn't exist. Did you see my face where
I even gave you the score and it was
2021, number 12 in the country? I'm like, I don't remember who that was. Like, oh, it was Ole Miss. And then there you go. There it is. There you have it. All right. There's the deal. By the way, speaking of great partners, we've not mentioned Texas Card House today. Let's mention them. They are our presenting sponsor, 6 locations in Texas. Ketch, have you carved out a little time to get over there to Texas Card House?
Well, look, it's not about getting over to the Card House because I can do that in spring anytime I want to. And I'm pretty sure I am going to play at the spring location tomorrow night.
Okay.
Even if I were to win the tournament, that'd be done at like 4. Liverpool plays at 9. The Longhorns don't play till the evening. So
wait, Liverpool plays at 9 in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I could get in a good 5 hours-ish sleep and not be a zombie by the time the Longhorns would play later in the day. And it's not one of these where, Liverpool's playing and it's conflicting with the Longhorn game. Trust me, that sucks. Not my favorite moment ever is when that occasionally happens. Usually once a season, I have to do that, and it just infuriates me. Timing. I mean, there are other ways. It wouldn't have to necessarily be that way, but the sporting gods aren't nice to me. But yeah, no, I'm going to go play tomorrow night. I'm going to go win, a few $1,000. Come back on Monday and let y'all know that I was right.
For those of you in the Austin area, if you weren't one of those people standing in line day after day when they opened the new location, the upgraded location, same location.
Something else, man. Things like 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, same location, just everything inside is dialed up to an even better level.
It's not the same location.
I thought it was the same 183 Anderson Mill.
Well, it is on the other side of 183 and Anderson Mill.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Same area, different technical location. Sorry.
It's not the actual same location. You'll be in the wrong strip center.
I got you.
Be like, I heard Ketch talking about the half-price books. Where's I only see a Taco Cabana. Where's the half-price books? You have them in the wrong place. You want to be in the shopping center where the half-price books, the swim school, and the aquarium, the Austin Aquarium.
There you go.
You can find the Austin Aquarium. You could accidentally bump into the Texas Card House, but just look for the long line.
Yeah, the long line. That is what you'll need. You need the long line, drop the kids off at the aquarium, and then go hit the Texas Card House.
That sounds like an hour of heaven is what
that sounds like. It's a good idea. That's what that is. All right, Ketch, I don't see any super chats. Are you ready to buy or sell? No clue what I could have asked him anything there. Zach says Ketch is still recovering from the exhaustion of actually doing a Wednesday show. That's kind of funny. By the way, for those of you that might be waiting on Brian Jones, tomorrow is Brian. He's traveling today. He'll be on with us tomorrow, same time, right about 1:20, like we have him on Thursdays usually. We'll have him on tomorrow. CBS not only has the what is the game? Oh, the Notre Dame Purdue game. Also, Catch the Colorado State game is on CBS Saturday.
That one is getting interesting to me because there's some smack talk taking place between those two sides.
Well, you remember how saucy that game got last year? Like that thing, there was attitude both ways. That thing got real nasty. All right. If you want to, while we are buying and selling, if you want to throw in a super chat, we will get to it as soon as we are done. Catch, would you like to go first or second today?
Let's go first, and then we'll wrap up because I got to get ready for what I believe will be a 2:00-ish reaction show.
Ah, there you go. Okay. You're going first or I'm first?
I'll let you go first today. I
will be going first. Buy or sell number one, Catch. Texas will trail in one of the next two games.
Sell. 85-0 this week, and I think they'll get ahead of La Monroe before La Monroe gets ahead of them.
For the record, I think you should have gone with 85-15. That's just me. Buy or sell number 2, Catch. The Pac-12 is going to add Boise, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State in 2026. Add a few more, and you'll let the champ have a playoff spot.
Sell. That's trash.
You want that conference to just be factored in as like a G6, and then the best of that group gets in?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, to the Pac-12, what you're building, just grab the whole Mountain West. Just figure out a new name for the conference. Just grab all of them. You'd have 14 teams. Do the math.
I mean, they need to grab a couple Texas teams. Go get Texas State or UTSA or something like that.
Now, there's an interesting idea. I wonder if those schools would be they'd be interested in moving to that, headed out west. Catch, buy or sell number 3. If the Cowboys beat the Saints, you'll let yourself get ahead of yourself.
That's the funniest thing I've seen in the show. I've laughed a number of times today in the show.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing that makes me want to laugh the most. Sell. No.
It could be for 10 minutes. It could be for like 5 minutes. Not for a moment. Would you let yourself get ahead of yourself? You'd be 2-0.
I think the Saints are good. I just think they beat a trash Carolina team.
Catch. When an NFL team scores,
the Saints are worth.
Catch. How many bad NFL teams score 47 points? How many?
I mean, one last week.
Oh, come on. That can't be a bad football team.
Just because they're not bad doesn't mean they're not good, or doesn't mean that they are good.
All right. You know what?
What's good in the NFL?
I didn't sign up for philosophy today.
What's good in the NFL?
Well, a team that scores 47.
No. What record would we say that's a good team? Because they're of their record.
Oh, God. Geez, by the new schedule, I guess it's.
Would you call a 9-8 team good?
No, not quite. I was going to say 12.
Well, is it 12? A 10-7 team is good.
I don't know. What's the equivalent of a 9-win team in college to me is good. So what's the equivalent in the NFL? 10, 11?
I think it's 10.
10. Okay. 10-7 is a good team.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we at least think the Saints might win 10 games right now?
No, I do not think the Saints are going to win 10 games.
Okay. All right.
I think the Saints are like a 7 or 8 win team.
All right. So then let me reset. Do you think the Cowboys are winning that game for sure?
No.
Okay. Just checking. That will be an interesting one. All right, Catch. I came up with a weird.
This is the thing. You're asking me, will I allow myself to get ahead? And all of my default positions are
okay.
To not trust ever. No,
you're training. You've been trained well. That's probably the right reaction. All right, Catch. I want you to prep because two buy or sells from now, it is a right now. They're both in their prime, hotter than. I think it's fantastic. But before then, we're going to go with an American Idol showdown. Buy or sell number 4. Today, Ruben Studdard and Jennifer Hudson share a birthday. If I buy the ticket, you'd rather see Ruben and Clay Aiken in concert than Jennifer Hudson.
So, and I have to admit, I didn't quite get the Jennifer Hudson thing. Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't want to see Clay Aiken in concert. And I mean, I kind of like Ruben, but I just don't know any of his music really. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to go see Ruben, it'd be like when I was at 19, 20, 21, however old I would have been, I would go down to 6th Street and Rob Bass would have like a concert. Mm-hmm. And you'd pay like $5-10 to get in. Mm-hmm. And then they'd come in and perform It Takes Two. Then they'd do Joy and Pain. And then they would perform It Takes Two again. And then they were out. So to me, that's my Ruben Studdard concert. Sing your best song. Sing a second best song if you have one. Sing that best song again. And let's end this thing. I have a little bit more respect for Jennifer Hudson. I think now I could do an hour of Hudson. You know, she's proven to be above those guys.
Fair enough. I'd definitely go see the fellas because my wife loves her some Clay Aiken. So that would be a very
I was watching Celebrity Family Feud on accident last week.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever do that where you're flipping around and then you just see Family Feud and it's like, well, I'll stop and see what question is being asked.
Right. Sure.
And then it stays on there for like an hour and 45 minutes.
And then you've seen way too much of Steve Harvey and you realize, damn it, I got to do something.
I sometimes like the celebrities because I end up seeing people and I'm like, whoa, did not know that person looked like that.
Yeah. Whoa, all the kids.
Current picture of, I saw Clay Aiken with his family on Celebrity Family Feud. Yeah. And I had no idea that was Clay Aiken. I was like, whoa, he's gray. Whoa. Yeah. That made me feel old because I know I'm older than him. And his ass looked old.
Yeah, the way to feel old, Catch, is that last year, if I'm not mistaken, when he and Ruben Studdard went out on a little bit of a tour, it was to celebrate the 20th anniversary of their year. The 20th anniversary of that.
I'm not older than Clay Aiken. Hold on.
Of that damn American Idol season, which is season 2, I believe, because Kelly Clarkson. Why do I know this stuff?
He's 45.
Because Kelly Clarkson was year 1, I think. So yes. I think those two dudes were year 2, if I'm not mistaken. All right, Catch. Are you ready for a hotter than?
No, but okay.
What?
I got my hopes up that maybe Clay Aiken was older than me. Because when I saw him gray, I was like, God, he looks old, but he's younger than me. Crap.
Catch, the only way to get over that kind of feeling and the feeling of being old is a blonde on blonde hotter than. Here we go. Buy or sell number 5. Sydney Sweeney is 27 today. Sydney is hotter than Sabrina Carpenter.
I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is.
Oh, you definitely need to Google machine that one.
I'm
Sabrina Carpenter performed last night at the VMAs.
I watched a little bit of that, just didn't see it. Now, okay, well, at least I know who you were talking about.
Know who I'm talking about. So, Sydney Sweeney, hotter than Sabrina Carpenter.
Buy.
He's buying. As is the case sometimes, I am selling, and we can double. We can go on a nice double date.
Yeah, man. Sydney, hey, knock yourself out. I'm good. I'm gonna take Sydney with me.
There you go. All right, that's my buy or sell, Catch. What do you got?
Buy. Now. Snap out of it.
Now now you're just staring at Sabrina Carpenter. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I mean, she is not hard to look at.
I hadn't gone through all of the photos, Chad.
Not hard to look at.
Yeah. No, Steven, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yeah. We've gotten votes on both sides.
Buy or sell, number 1, Zelus Hicks commits to Texas, and you're buying this newfangled idea that I have that there's a legit pathway to number 1.
Oh, buy. I was buying it when you weren't. I put it together talking to Jason Sucamel the other day. I had Riley Pettyjohn flipping. I had Devin Sanchez flipping. I was flipping all kinds of crazy things to try to make it happen. Buy. I do believe that the momentum is headed towards Texas getting to the top.
Buy or sell, number 2. Just for the record, you think Quinn Ewers throws for more than 2.5 touchdowns this weekend against UTSA. That on Prize Picks is a demon bet, which you get extra credit, extra odds in your favor if you get those right.
Yeah. It's a very specific buy or sell.
It is a very specific buy or sell.
So I'm buying more on 2.5 is what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh, man. I'll go ahead and sell that because I could see a scenario where it is 2 touchdown pass. It's a perfectly set number. I could see where it could be 2 touchdowns.
He's and some of the other for 3.
And some of the other touchdowns are like are rushing touchdowns and stuff like that. So I'll sell.
Buy or sell number 3. Now that you know what the Shannon Sharpe audio is, should you just decide, I'll go into Twitter and type in Shannon Sharpe's name, after my description of it, you're going to go check it out.
Sell. I have very few rules in life, Catch. One of them is if a famous person is engaged in something, nude, sexual, or whatever, and they don't want me to see it, I don't want to see it. I've never watched Aaron Andrews. I've never watched Kim Kardashian. I don't watch
give it a green light on this, though.
Now, I guess Kim Kardashian knew what was going on. I'm just not, I don't need to be that type of voyeur because there's a lot of pornography out there. So, Shannon, do what you do. Let everybody else react. I don't need to watch.
Audio.
I don't need to listen. I don't need to listen.
I mean, if I were to go like, oh, like is that in pornography all of a sudden?
To a degree, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it's designed a certain way, yes. In this case, it would literally be someone in that act. So
when you saw Meg Ryan in When Harry Met Sally, you thought that was a form of pornography?
I think that's the way it was designed. Yeah. Something that is designed to create a sexual response.
Let me tell you what this is. This is
Absolutely.
some conservative Waxahachie mush that you
I'm just trying to. No, we got to expand that definition. That technically is pornography. The double mint commercials with the twins on the bike, that's pornography. There's a lot of pornography out there. Do we not understand that? The woman in the bed that's trying to sell y'all the bed. Have y'all seen that commercial where that woman just stares seductively at you and tells you about the bed? That's pornography. That is a commercial designed to create a sexual feeling. Technically, that's pornography.
So anything that does that.
If that's the design of it, absolutely.
Like if I put on a shirt or you put on a shirt and we're like, this is my color. South End Zone Queen's going to see me in the shirt today and she's going to think Chad looks super attractive.
Right. If I did that super seductively, it would technically be pornography. Wouldn't be effective pornography, but it would be pornography. That's true.
If you gave like a Zoolander look into the camera.
What was it called? Blue Steel? Is that what it was?
Well, the more we keep talking, the more, it does kind of sound like it now all of a sudden.
Oh, my God.
Buy or sell number 4. I'm on ESPN.com right now. I don't even know what I was looking for, but they're advertising that tonight on FX is the return of Jeff Bridges. It is a return of John Lithgow. It is a return of Amy Brenneman. The old man returns to FX tonight. And you watch season 1.
Sell. Haven't seen a second of it. Every time I see the preview, I think, I should watch that show, but I haven't done it yet. Is it good?
Season 1's really good.
Yeah, good stuff. I got to check it out. Catch, there was There's a slight emergency that happened in my house yesterday, and I got to figure out what happened. Yesterday, something changed about my cable service, and all of a sudden, every DVR in my house is no longer a DVR. So I've got to call today and figure out exactly what happened because I'm freaking out.
So you lost everything that's on your DVR.
I hope not, but if that's the case, I may have to explain that to my wife later, which means I might be sleeping outside on the deck tonight.
Well, you didn't do anything.
I didn't, but she will be so pissed off if she lost everything. Oh, my God.
All right, and finally, buy or sell number 5. There is an NFL game tonight, and you can tell me the 2 teams playing in it.
Oh, hell yes. That's a big buy. It's a Buffalo-Miami showdown tonight in South Beach, and I can't wait for it. It's on Prime Video. You got to have the streaming service to get a hold of it.
Which, that may be the only thing, apparently, that your wife can watch that has archives on it.
That is absolutely true. And also tonight is this up here, Arizona State and Texas State.
It's a good night for some TV tonight.
Hell yeah, that's tonight. Matt Berry of ESPN and that crew are going to be calling it. Come on, Bobcats. Catch, I looked up a stat for the folks. Jordan McLeod is the name of the Texas State quarterback. He's the transfer from really everywhere. South Florida, then Arizona, then James Madison. Catch, I know you love the passer rating. He was at 165.9 at James Madison last year, and he's already at 171 for Texas State this year. They beat Lamar and UTSA. Arizona State beat Mississippi State and Wyoming. They're both 2-0. It is a clash in San Marcos tonight near the river and the hotties.
Okay, I got a sixth buy or sell question.
Buy or sell, 6-star. DeCorey Moore.
I saw this headline, and I was like, I got to see what the hell just happened. This is the lead for this particular news story, which is like an AP story.
Okay.
The French Legal Commission has ordered Paris Saint-Germain, to pay
Paris.
Kylian Mbappe
Yeah.
$55 million in unpaid wages that he claims he's entitled to, the league said on Thursday. Buy or sell? You've not remotely had 1/10 a day in your life that could be as good as being told that your former bosses owe you $55 million.
Yeah, bye.
I mean, how could you? I was like,
you know what?
I loved our wedding. The kids being born are great.
You were
$55 million in a day.
Catch, you were nice enough to say 1/10. I appreciate that you made it 1/10. It didn't even need to be 1/10. It's way less. I mean, not even close. Yeah, that is. It's one thing. It is one thing. Obviously, like if you found $55 million, that would be amazing. If you earned $55 million, that's amazing. Clearly, he did that at some point. But in this case, that's $55 million they could have screwed you out of. You could have gotten technicality out of that thing. But a third party, an outside entity, stepped to the plate and said, y'all owe him $55 million, and Mbappe just gets to sit and eat that at dinner tonight. Now that's good stuff.
As you might be able to expect, there will be an appeal.
I bet there's an appeal. Catch. Bobby Bonilla doesn't get to feel that good about what he does to the Mets every year.
Yeah.
Like, damn. He gets like a little over one every year that he's entitled to. Mbappe just said $55 million. Here, sign right here, and we'll get you $55 million. Less our fee.
So just so you know, somebody's pool guy is banging on their truck, and the dogs don't like it.
Okay. So does that mean it's time to close the door?
Yeah.
All right, time to close the door. Remember, Zelus Hicks will make his decision around 2:15. Like, subscribe, and get your notifications. Why? Because there might be a pop-up surprise reaction show when these kind of things happen. There's always been a reaction show, but there's probably going to be one. Get your notifications so you can check that out. Shout out to Texas Card House, 6 locations in the great state of Texas, including that incredible TCH Social Austin location that is open right now and waiting for you. We got football with friends tonight at 6, old-fashioned tomorrow morning at 9, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Until then, we are House Divided. Thanks to over 1,000 of you in the Specs chat, you crazy wackadoo.